This is the Literary License Podcast with your hosts, Vickie Rae, John Wilson, and Keith Chawgo. Discussing book to screen and everything in between. Coming at you from the UK and USA.
They keep it real.
Hello, welcome to Literary License Podcast, and you come to our special episode where we discuss the new films or films that we've been watching on Shudder, and this is the January 2019 episode. So, of course, with us today we have Vickie. Hello, Vickie.
Hello, everybody.
And we can tell you what we've been up to, but we're actually recording this on the same day that we did Vertigo, which is previously. So we're basically been up to the same thing we were an hour ago. So
my life is still boring and meaningless.
Still boring and meaningless. Over here in the UK, everyone's up in arms about Prince Philip in his car accident.
Prince Philip had a car accident?
He had a car accident. He is 97 years old, and apparently he was speeding and overturned his car. Because
I thought they were more upset over Meghan.
No, we haven't heard too much about Meghan. Due to Prince Philip being 97 and driving and flipping his car, they're saying that now they're going to move where it used to be 60 miles per hour to 50 miles per hour, because that will explain why a 97-year-old is behind the remote, behind the car.
I know think those people drove. I thought they had drivers.
Well, I just put it this way. I know plenty of 80-year-olds that are not even allowed next to a remote control of a television. So the wheel of a car is beyond me. But, of course, this is politics and this is media. And, of course, we're going into the second day, almost third day of this accident happening, and they're still going on and on about it. So, though
all we hear about is Meghan over here displeasing the Queen.
We're not getting any of that over here. From our understanding is that everyone gets on quite well. What we get over here is Meghan, and there's jealousy between her and Kate. Now,
oh, Jesus.
This is media, and I'm not sure if there's any of this stuff is real. The only thing I do know is real, that there was a car accident. There's some funny jokes because we're going through the whole Brexit thing over here, and there's this cartoon of Theresa May.
Right.
Going and talking to the Queen, and apparently the meeting's over with. And then this cartoon, Theresa May goes, "I'll be leaving now," and then the Queen goes, "I'll get Prince Philip to drive you home." So there's been a lot of witty commentary coming out of this thing, but besides that, I mean, there's not too much going on. A bit like American politics. British politics are just as messy and just as horrible. So yeah. I guess the less said about any of those. Let's just put it this way. Every country in the world is fucked up. Get used to it. There's nothing you can do about it. If you want a new government, best thing to do is go out and vote and demand better politicians, better MPs, better senators, better House of Representatives, better everything.
If you don't vote, you can't bitch.
Well, we need to, I think, if I just for a little political 5 minutes here, everyone in the world needs to revolt against their governments. Everyone. It's about time that let's get decent people for once. They're all assholes. Every single one of them is an asshole.
Exactly.
Every Democrat, every Republican, every conservative, every labor leader, they're all assholes. They don't care. They're just horrible.
Nope.
But so now that I said my piece, I'm gonna move on before So
Well, as political as it gets here, folks.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there saying that there's not one good person out there. We got elections coming up here probably in the next year, and there's just no one to vote for. And I know that in America you got elections coming up, and it's like it's gonna be slim pickings again. So
we're doomed no matter what.
Yeah, I just think that maybe we need to get rid of everyone and just start over.
Exactly.
I think I'd be happier. Tom, the grocery packing guy who packs your groceries at the supermarket. I'd probably be more happier with him at the moment than I have what we have. So at least it'll be something different. But
anything's better than the present company. Yep.
Yeah. So to no ado, what we're going to do is press on. And so, Vickie, what's your first choice on Shudder?
Okay, I went for the old good stuff. The Changeling. It's a 1980 Canadian psychological film directed by Peter Medak, starring George C. Scott and Trish Van Devere. It follows an esteemed New York City composer who relocates to Seattle, where he moves into a mansion he comes to believe is haunted. But what they're not saying is that his family has actually been killed in a car accident prior to him moving into this old, scary home. The screenplay is based upon events that writer Russell Hunter claimed he experienced while he was living in the Henry Treat Rogers mansion in Chessman Park neighborhood of Denver, Colorado. Why is it always in Estes Park and places like Colorado in the late 1960s? And he also co-wrote the film. I liked it because I think George C. Scott is wonderful in it, and I think it's just one of those old-fashioned horror stories. It doesn't have a lot of morbidity to it or grossness, but it's got a lot of intenseness with it, and it kept me enthralled. I was just waiting to see what was going to happen, and the ghost and everything, the pounding on the walls, and just all the mystery that surrounded why, what happened to this child when he was little and why he's haunting George C. Scott.
The Changeling is actually one of my all-time favorite ghost stories, and to me, what I love about it is George C. Scott is fantastic.
Yes, brilliant.
And I think if you don't know anything about George C. Scott, he did win an Oscar for Patton, but I think in this film, it just shows you how fantastic he is. I mean, he's this big old gruff of a man, and you feel everything through him.
Right.
Like when the loss of his family and when the whole mystery happens, you just feel everything. And I say that this is probably one of the only ghost stories, murder mystery films that's done successfully. You have a murder mystery that's going on, and you have the haunting that's going on, and there's no stupid little, scare, cheap scares, and everything just means something. And yeah, I totally agree with you, Vickie.
Yeah, it's nice old. It's not really old fashioned. It's just well done. It'll definitely keep it's a 1980, but it's still going to keep your attention. Trust me.
Well, they just come out with a Blu-ray version of it, a special edition, which I actually bought, and I actually watched the documentary on it. And I didn't know this, but did you know that the house that they used, the outside's a real house, but the inside they built, that's all a soundstage. They rebuilt the whole inside of the house.
I was wondering if they did. I was kind of wondering, because it almost reminded me of another movie. Why it eludes me right now. It just does. It reminded me of another set. Maybe not The Haunting of Hill House, but maybe High Anxiety almost. It's one of those films. But
even Trish Van Devere, I mean, I don't know too much about her, but she's brilliant in this film as well.
Yeah, she's I haven't seen her in too many movies, but they really, it wasn't really a romantic interest or anything, but they teamed up to solve this murder, mystery, haunting, whatever. It has it all. So it's definitely worth watching.
And without giving anything away, because we want to make sure you watch this film, and when the mystery is solved, it all makes sense and it all comes together beautifully. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. The Changeling, 100%.
Amazon. Oops, wrong Amazon. Although we both contain an array of diversity, the rainforest with all of its animals and us with all of our products, come check us over today and find all the products you need quickly and efficiently. And buy it with one click. And now you can even use us to donate to your favorite charities using Amazon Smile. Amazon Smile is worth your while. Come check us out today.
Within this old house live two residents. One of them is John Russell, composer, professor. The other has been dead for over 70 years.
Claire, I'd like to talk to you about the house.
Did you die in this house? How did you die?
Whatever it is trying desperately to communicate. What is it in that house, Claire? What is it doing? Why is it trying to reach me?
It's a hand.
I'm John Russell. I'm living in your house. Senator, look, I want to show him that. You got something of the senator's. He wants it back.
John?
What is it you want? What do you want from me?
Many films will frighten you, but only a few can really terrify you. The Changeling, an experience beyond total fear.
My first thing I'm going to suggest is Black Lake. It's a TV series. It's actually a Scandinavian thriller television series. That was actually that's come out. They do show it on the BBC here, but now Shudder has bought it for them. There's 2 seasons of it. Season 2 is, for me, a bit weak, but season 1 is the one you want to watch. And basically, the general premise is that these friends, the leader, the friend named Berg, basically buys this ski resort in the middle of nowhere, and apparently this family was murdered there, and there's ghosts, and there's this thriller and this mystery that needs to be unsolved, and it unsolved beautifully. You're basically, you're watching the season as it unfolds, and there's 8 episodes of the season, and it does fantastically well, and it does hold. I mean, I sat there and I was glued to it for the whole way. I mean,
not another seasonal thing that I can get addicted to. It's like it's been bad the last 6 months. I keep watching stuff and I can't stop watching.
Well, I have to sit there and say that it was one of those things that because of it, I was late for work for 2 days running because I was up way too late because I had to watch one more, and it scared me and thrilled me. And I really have to sit there and say that I am a lover of European horror only because they take something that's normally you see in America and they just turn it on its head, and they always full of surprises, and there's so much going on. There's so many underlayers going on, and that's what I quite like about Black Lake. And it's
Black Lake. I'm just seeing if they have it here in the States yet.
Mm-hmm. Now they hadn't. It became so popular on the BBC that they've now released it as a DVD as well. So
yes, it is here in America. It's on American Shudder.
Yeah, give it a shot. It's really good. Season 1 is great. Season 2, unfortunately, I was highly disappointed. But season 1 of Black Lake, I highly suggest it. I would pronounce
okay, you like season 1 better than season 2.
Yeah, season 1's brilliant. Okay. Apparently, it's coming back for season 3, so we'll see how they do that. There are 2 different stories, but I think the season 1 story is stronger than season 2. And the acting is really well done. I will not pronounce any of the people's names involved in it, only because I'm just going to massacre them. They're just too Scandinavian for my Caucasian little mouth to get my name around, my lips around those names. So.
Okay, Bradley, tell the class about your holidays.
Yeah, it was really good. My dad built us a new kitchen. It's got wooden bench tops and some stupid self-closing drawers. There was a dishwasher that was a real and even a breakfast bar. Mum thought Dad was a massive...
Get a kitchen installed without teaching your kids new words. Visit ikea.com.au. We can plan, deliver and install the whole thing for you.
They came to plan their future, but were haunted by the past. Drama Black Lake on BBC4.
So, Vickie, what's your second film that you're suggesting?
It was one of the weirdest ones, and I didn't think I was going to like it because it is just fucking weird. It's called Cold Skin. It's a 2017 French-Spanish sci-fi horror film. It's directed by Xavier Gens, and it's based on a 2002 novel by Xavier Gens, I believe, by the same name, Albert Sanchez. No, I can't say it. It's by Albert Sanchez Pinot. The film was released in October 20th of 2017 in Spain, but it is done in America, English language. And when it was released in America, it doesn't even have subtitles. But it's based on 1914, where this young Irishman, and he travels to a remote island in the South Atlantic because he wants to be a meteorologist, because the one that had previously been there had passed away. And the only other inhabitant on this island is a caretaker who runs the lighthouse, and his name is Gruner. They don't really hit it off at first, but soon they realize that the death of his predecessor didn't occur from any sickness like typhus, which is the official explanation, but it's some kind of weird invasion from these, I call them, they look like mer people, but they don't have the tails, and they just come up on the beach and attack everybody all the time. And the lighthouse guy, Gruner, he's got everything. He's got like a fortress built around the lighthouse because it's clear that he knows what's going down, and he's been trying to defend himself for however long he's been there. And eventually the young Irishman gets driven out of the house, and he has to hide in the lighthouse with this guy. And they do have a female one of these mer people / fish people, whatever they are. And it's just, I don't even know how to explain it, except it's just weird. It did get met with some really good reception. I was kind of surprised because when I was watching it, I'm just going, get the fuck out of here, But like people actually liked it. And I mean, it had a lot of good Shudder reviews. You know how people put on Shudder, it's like, well, leave a review. Well, they thought this was pretty cool. So they have the protagonist, the girl, her name is Anaris. She is the I guess I cannot say her name. It's Anaris, which is a reverse spelling of the Spanish word sirena, which means siren. So again, it does imply that they're mer people, and what it is for whatever reason they keep attacking everybody on the island until they're dead, and these people get what they can get. They go and find gunpowder or whatnot. I'm not going to tell you the end of it, but they just have this on and off, they come at night, they attack, and it just goes off and on. But the most interesting part is the female Anaris, who just seems to like come in between the two of these human males, and she's actually quite sweet and caring, but you just got to make up your mind about that. It's a very well done film. The cinematography is brilliantly done. It's beautifully filmed, and it's got the weirdest plot. It's just one of those weird Shudder stories that you can't explain. You can't say too much because you give the ending away, which is not our intent here. So I would say try Cold Skin. It's really interesting, and I didn't stop watching it. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I kept watching it like a train wreck. So
I actually saw the ad for it, so I'm actually going to watch that. So I actually put it down for one of the ones to watch. So
it's really weird. It's weird. But it's got a real good plot to it. You wouldn't think it would, But I mean, it's all falls into place, you know. Whoever wrote the screenplay and scripting and everything did a beautiful job. And whoever does the mer people, whatever they are, because they swim away with 2 fins. They don't have like 1 fin. But it's just one of those weird, it's not like humanoids from the deep, but it almost reminds you of humanoids.
It's humanoids from the deep. My God. I watched that a couple of weeks ago, actually. It was on Prime.
It is. Oh my God, I haven't seen that in so long. I couldn't stop laughing when I watched it the first time.
It's got that actor Mark McClurg or something like that. If he's for people out there, if you see a horror film that's got Mark McClurg in it, chances are it's going to be really weird and shitty. That man could not act. He couldn't act his way out of a paper bag, poor man. But he was very popular in the 70s.
Yeah, well, if you want to see something that's going to make you laugh, watch Humanoids from the Deep. I guarantee you, just watch just because you can't stop laughing. It's so stupid.
I mean, to get away from Cold Skin slightly, Humanoids from the Deep, for people who don't know what that movie is, about these people that it kind of like these weird humanoid creatures that grab women and rape them.
They just fall right on top of them.
I know.
They just land on top of them.
But they only tend to rape women with big breasts. They don't go for the small-breasted women.
Yep. So if you're into alien rape, this is your Huckleberry.
Yeah. It's one of those films that does have an ending, and that you'll never see ever again.
No.
Humanoids attacking a fair while they're trying to rape the women. Yeah. Let's go on the love ride. Sure. Oh my God, it's a humanoid.
When you're heading for a great night out, if you saw a bus stop, would you pee against it? Would you still be grinning as it trickled down your leg? Would you smash a window just because it's there? Would you run across a busy street, then lie down in the middle? Would you shove a mate into the road just to get a laugh? Would you punch a stranger in the face for the way they're looking at you? Would you drink a pint of urine to prove that you're a man? Would you? You wouldn't start a night like this, so why end it that way? Alcohol. Know your limits.
Where's your island?
No birds.
No weather official either.
Where is the weather official? He went out one day. I never saw him again.
I appreciate your concern, but I'm not about to turn back now.
Don't shoot! She learned her lesson.
You can speak with the beasts.
Not speak. Come on. Cute that way, aren't they?
What has he done to you this time?
We are the invaders, which makes us the enemy.
You want to conquer them, is that it?
Oh no, I want to exterminate them.
Well, my next film I'm going to suggest is Mayhem. It's a 2017 American action horror film. It was directed by Joe Lynch and written by Matthias Caruso. this is a very interesting film. Basically, it starts as Derek Chow, the film's protagonist, tells the audience about the ID7 virus or red eye virus that has been spreading throughout the world and affects the neural pathways, removing all inhibitions and moral integrity, and in turn causing people to act out their darkest impulses. While the virus is not lethal, those affected by the virus may find themselves driven to kill. Now, the interesting thing is this takes place in a lawyer firm, and it actually stars Stephen Yen. Now, Stephen Yen is very popular, was Glenn in the Walking Dead series. He's excellent in this one. There's actually good.
And he doesn't get stuck under a dumpster, I'm assuming.
Well, what's very interesting in this is that he's a lawyer, and what happens is that the virus takes place inside this law firm, and they have to quarantine the law firm. But this law firm previously, they had a client named Neville Reed who stabbed a coworker while he was infected, and they got him off because it was the virus. So what you have is these lawyer films, and they're all killing each other and everything like this inside this, and he's just
all stuck in the building together.
Yeah, and he's been fired, so he's trying to get his job back. So, and but it's really, really well done. There's this political undertones to it, but it's very, very funny, very gory. There's some horrific scenes in it, and it just delivers on so many different levels. And it's one of those films that you can watch over and over again. And it's after I watched it, I mean, I think I told you, Vicki, you got to watch Mayhem. It's one of these films you got to.
Yeah, I've got to watch it today.
It does catch you totally by unawares. It's like you kind of watch it, and it's those little films those quirky little films that you see, those independent, quirky American horror films that you watch and you find a lot of fun. It's one of those, and I highly suggest it.
And Stephen Yen is a good actor, as we all know. He's played several seasons on The Walking Dead, so everybody knows him real well just for that.
And it's good to see him doing something else, because I haven't actually seen him outside The Walking Dead. And Glenn was one of my favorite characters, and I'm not a huge fan of The Walking Dead because I'm one of those people who loved it for the first couple of seasons and kind of
right.
But when I did watch it, there's probably about 3 characters that had a lot of emotional depth, and his character and his acting had a lot of emotional depth to it. And this one, it's just really fun. It's kind of like the zombie thing, but it's not a zombie film. And the office politics, if you work in an office and you know how office politics works, right. it takes the piss out of all that as well. So Mayhem, the 2017 film, I highly recommend.
Amazon is here to make your life easier. By just the tap of a button, you can turn the camera on your phone to your own personal shopping list. Introducing Flow. Just tap the camera icon onto the search bar, and you can find whatever it is you're looking for, right on Amazon. Faster than scanning a barcode and typing the name of your item into the search engine. Besides, searching with words is so 2012. Save time and money. Amazon, where shopping meets effortless.
We're witnessing a model citizen here, transformed into a brutal, bloodthirsty, killing machine!
Welcome to the home of Towers & Smythe Consulting. TSC is a firm fueled by greed, duplicity, and moral decay.
I'm gonna need some scouts!
What the hell are you doing?
Firing you.
I'm not leaving this building until I plead my case.
Sure. Good luck with that.
What the hell is going on?
Say hello to the ID7 virus. Stress hormone levels rise, causing inhibitions to drop, and basic instincts to rise to the surface.
All traces of the virus should be eliminated in approximately 8 hours.
What are we supposed to do for the next 8 hours?
Try to remain calm.
Hey, extreme measures, right?
This is our shot.
I'm offering 150 grand for Cho's head.
We're talking about murder here. You should be offering at least 450.
Him?
Yup.
You want to do this the hard way?
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
I just kicked his ass!
And what's your final film that you want to see?
My final pick, it was Mandy. It was produced by Elijah Wood and Daniel Noah and Josh Waller. It's a 2018, psychedelic action horror film. Was directed by Panos Cosmatos. Can I say that right? We're always killing people's names. It was just take my word for it. It was a co-production in the United States and Canada, and the film stars Nicolas Cage, Andrea Riseborough, Linus Roach, Ned Dennehy, Alwyn Foher, Richard Brake, and Bill Duke. And it was premiered actually at the 2018 Sundance Film Festival of January of last year, and it was theatrically released September 14th of last year. It did receive critical acclaim with praise directed at its style and originality, and Cage's performance and the direction and the action sequences. I thought it was really weird. It was like one of those trippy movies because it's basically located in the Shadow Mountains, and it is the early 80s. And this guy, who's played by Nicolas Cage, he lives with his girlfriend in a cabin near a lake. And he's just a regular old logger, and she works as a daytime cashier at a nearby gas station. She likes to do fantasy art and things like that. But it's about a cult of these people called Children of the New Dawn. It's a deviant hippie cult. So if you're into deviant hippie cults, this is one you want to watch. And without saying too much, it is just so strange because there's a lot of LSD personifications and trippy sequences and whatnot. And the reason I watched it, at first it looked kind of dumb because, I love Nicolas Cage. I think he's a really strong actor. And he can usually pull any movie out of the shitter with just his acting some of the time. But you have to watch it because it was violence, and it was totally violence. And Nicolas Cage, you know how you get really mad, don't get mad, get angry when things happen to the people that you love without going too much into it. But he gets back at all of these people in various and sundry and in ingenious ways when they piss him off. And it's part like demon bikers, and it just got it all. It's just one of those weird movies that, like I said, if I say too much, it'll give it away. But but the hippie cult leader is like struck by the beauty of his wife, and he must have her. You know how that the evil man has to have the beautiful whatever, the beautiful woman, and he's got the one old jealous bag in his cult that can't stand her. You know how that works. But yeah, Mandy, it's really a good film. I don't know if you've heard about it, Keith, but you probably like it. He invents his own weapon called the Reaper. It's just made out of solid silver, I believe, and I mean he's like cutting people's heads off, and there's just all kinds of violence. You'll love it.
Actually, it's interesting you say that because Mandy's actually on the list of movies I do want to see. And I actually will go look for that on Shudder because I was actually listening to another podcast and they were actually discussing it. And I was reading some reviews on this. It was Nicolas Cage back on form. That's what they're calling this film.
Yeah. Well, he got a lot of acclaim for it. And like I said, it was he's really a strong performer anyway, but he's so pissed off when they do what he does to the people that he loves. That he just goes full bore at him, and it's a violent movie. So if you like violent Nicolas Cage, which one of his movies isn't violent though? Yeah. I don't think other than that one where he's a high school teenager in love with that girl. What was that movie called?
Oh, Valley Girl.
Valley Girl. That is probably the only movie I've seen him in that he's not violent.
Oh my God! He's like so tubular, and you're like, he likes me, I'm so sure.
That's the only movie I've seen Nicolas Cage in where he isn't trying to kill somebody.
It's the only movie where you get Nicolas Cage going like, gag me with a spoon, like, oh really?
Yeah, I actually thought that was a cute movie.
I love Deborah Foreman. She's in that.
Yeah, she's good in that.
She's one of these actresses that never really made it big, but she was like, she made like all these like direct-to-video films, like Waxwork, right. April Fool's Day, My Chauffeur, Valley Girl. And it's like every time he's like, we always want to see more of her, but he never got more of her because no one ever cast her anything else.
She really didn't play in too many movies, but Nicolas, like I said, that was the only Nicolas Cage movie I can really recall where he isn't beating the hell out of somebody or cutting them up or shooting at them.
He did one other one with Sarah Jessica Parker in the late 80s, early 90s, Honeymoon in Las Vegas, where he's in,
I did not see that one.
It had a lot of Elvis music in it or something. It wasn't great, but it
was not memorable.
Yeah, his forte isn't comedies. So sometimes his acting in some of these films are quite comedic. Ghost Rider, anyone?
I like Ghost Rider, and I like Con Air. I like all those.
I like the one where the other one where they has the car, the evil car.
Oh, wait.
I think it has Amanda bisexual Heard in it.
What was it?
When in this country, when Johnny Depp was married to Amber Heard. And every time the press over here would put Amber Heard's name, and I think it'd be Amber bisexual Heard because she's bisexual.
Oh.
I feel like it's like so Amber bisexual Heard.
Did not know that.
Yeah, in this country, that every time her name's mentioned, they put Amber bisexual Heard. Which that movie, Driving Crazy, I can't remember the name of it. That was a really good one. But I do like Nicolas Cage films. I always, he's either really manic or not manic enough, but he's always very watchable.
Well, everybody seemed to like it. Like I said, I look at the Shudder reviews for people that I read the reviews what the other viewers like or whatever. And sometimes, they'll hate it and I'll still like it. But a lot of people really like this one. And they said it was just your vintage Nicolas Cage kicking the shit out of the bad guy. So
I'm going to watch that one. And plus, it's got bloody guts and gore in it. So.
It does. It's really pretty gross, especially when he makes his Reaper. He's got his very own.
Morning face. You get it when you don't sleep well. This is what happened to Linda.
Morning, guys.
Good morning. Ah, what is that thing?
It's me, Linda.
Oh my God, it talks! Run!
No, it's me, Linda from HR.
It looks hungry! Save the children! Save them!
What?
Stay back, I've got mace!
Ow, that went in my eyes.
Quit moving!
It's called beauty sleep for a reason. And there's never been a better time to get some.
Get 20% off IKEA Sultan mattresses. IKEA, love your home.
Under the crimson, primordial sky, the wretched warlock reached into the dark embrace. His fist closed around the serpent's eye. Strange and eternal.
I need you to get me that girl I saw. You know what to do. You're a special one, Mandy. I, too, am a special one. Let us be so very special together. So what you gonna do with that thing?
I'm going hunting.
So what you hunting?
It's crazy evil.
You think you're so in love? I'll show you love. Oh man, they wronged you. You exceeded cosmic darkness.
It glowed from within, strange and eternal.
My next film I'm going to suggest is Downrange. It's a 2017 American horror thriller film written and directed by, here it is, folks. I'm going to kill another name for you. Rahula Katamura. It stars Kelly Conner, Stephanie Pearson, and Rod Hernandez. Basically, it's a very interesting thing. You got the character Todd Acosta, his girlfriend Sarah Fletcher, and their new carpooling friends Jody, Karen, Jeff, and Eric become stranded on a remote country road when an SUV suffers a tire blowout. Now, what makes this different? Because at first you think, okay, I've seen this before. Here we go down this road. Bunch of city slickers going into the country, and they're going to be picked up by someone.
Wrong turn.
But what's interesting about them is that they all stay next to their car because there's a sniper in one of the trees, and he's sniping them as soon as they show their heads. And that's what the whole movie's based around. And it's very tense, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole time. I mean, it's 90 minutes long, and every 90 minutes it's just held there. And the thing is, it's all one set. You know, you're not moving around. There's no backstory. You're not finding out where they're coming from, why they're there.
It's not an ADHD movie.
Yeah, but at the same time, picture it. Let's say you're in your car, you're on a lone road, and let's say your tire blows out. You all get out of the car, and then someone starts picking you off from a sniper rifle from a distance, and you don't know where the shots are coming from.
That would suck.
So you're all hiding behind your car, but meanwhile, it's like two people get killed right away, right in front of you, while they're trying to change the tire, and then it just snowballs into this. To the simple fact that other cars will come down the road and they're getting killed as they're coming down the road, and it's so good. The ending of it, it works, and for me, I really liked it. Isaac's kind of rolled his eyes at the ending, so I don't know.
You didn't like it?
I think he liked the film a lot, but for some reason he saw the ending coming where I didn't see the ending coming.
Okay.
But it's not one of these films like they do with most American films where they feel like they need to explain anything. There's no explanation why this guy is doing it at all. And that's what I quite liked about it. And yeah, it's not some, you're not going to get some killer out there whose mom and dad are also his uncle and aunt. It's not about inbreeding or some kind of country.
It's not like Wrong Turn
or Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Hostel or anything like that. It's just some, basically from my interpretation is some nutter in a tree and camouflage.
Right.
But it really worked for me, and it's one of those films that for 90 minutes it kept me there, and basically I wasn't looking at my phone. I wasn't doing, because a lot of times when I'm watching stuff, I'm actually doing other work and stuff like this because I keep myself quite busy.
Well, it'll be a good day to watch it because it's cold and miserable in Texas.
Yeah,
so I have nothing to do but watch Shudder today.
And I say Downrange is good. I mean, it's got fantastic reviews. And there's always a high voltage audience and like to watch movies in this atmosphere. And it's also been known as my favorite place to it's my favorite place both as a filmmaker and as a fan. It was said by a famous director, and a lot of people are sitting there saying that this is one of the films that would open up in film festivals and was catching everyone by surprise. I
can almost relate to that because years ago when I was a young college girl, we were coming from New Hampshire, New Jersey, to my boyfriend's house, and we were on Palisades Parkway. And at that time, there was an open sniper out there shooting everybody on Palisades Parkway. And I remember the toll booths were not habitated because they just let you run through because they didn't want no one to stop. And it's just like, wow, because you didn't have cell phones back then and all other shit. So you relied on the radio to hear this crap. It's like, oh, lovely. So yeah, that would really suck.
But wasn't there like the BTK killer? Wasn't that what they were doing? Like snipering people in their cars?
It wasn't. There's been several instances since the 80s that we didn't really have school shootings back then, but people were into sniper rifling people on the highways.
Well, sniper rifling in computer games is quite difficult, so it is quite a good sport that you can be into if you're good at it. I'm very bad at it. That's why I don't play Call of Duty. I always get killed. I'm not good at it at all. But the sniper rifle people on Call of Duty are bloody good. It's like you respawn, get shot. Respawn, get shot. It's like you don't even get a chance to run anywhere. You get shot. So But yeah, I mean, they do have cell phones in this film, and they did even realistically about when they're trying to call for help and everything. It's done very realistically, and it's done really good. And I sit there and say there's not annoying people in it as well, which I think that a lot of times in the horror films. For instance, there's this new horror film that's on Netflix that started yesterday called He Knows You're There, or He Knows You're Out There.
I didn't watch that yet. I was looking at it though.
And you got the characters. It's okay. Unfortunately, it's got screaming children in it, which is not a plus for me. I was hoping that they'd actually feed the kids to the killer without giving anything away, because I think people are probably going to want to watch it because it is a Netflix original. I thought it was going to be more like Hush, which I loved Hush because you never knew where it was going. This one, you just had a lot of people doing a lot of stupid stuff, and that's what I like about Downturn. You don't get stupid people doing stupid stuff. You get people just trying to survive. And I think I could put myself in their shoes. If I was in that shoes, I would probably do the same stuff that they tried to do to try to get out of the situation. So Downturned it is.
Hello?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I have a bunch of favorite movies. I watch them all on Shudder.com for only $4.99 a month.
That's a scary low price.
But if I had to pick a favorite, it'd probably be Scream.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the only streaming service that lets me watch hundreds of horror movies on demand.
I'll be right back.
Hello? Hello? Hello, are you gonna subscribe? Hello?
Go to Shudder.com to subscribe, if you dare.
Yeah, we can't really give away the endings with the Shudder. That's the problem.
No.
We need to watch it, but we can't really go too much in depth with it because then it'll give it away and ruin it for you.
Yeah, and I hope that the trailers don't give too much away. Well, luckily they're audio trailers, so therefore they don't give too much away. Sometimes the trailer visually can give too much away. So basically that's the end of our Shudder for January 2019. Next week we might be covering Glass. It all depends if we can get tickets to go see it. But if we don't, we'll be back again with Rosemary's Baby, which will be covering the book and film. The book is written by Ira Levin. The film is directed by directed by Roman Polanski. I'm really messing this up, folks. Really sorry. My brain is total different galaxy.
He's been like this all morning, people.
Yes, unfortunately. So the book is written by Ira Levin. The film's directed by Roman Polanski, but is produced by William Castle. And as you all know, if you're an active listener to us, William Castle also produced Homicidal, which we covered earlier when we did Psycho. So we'll be covering that, and that will be part of our, evil babies. So yes, a lot to look forward to.
We're all evil.
All evil. Anyone born in sin is evil. We're all children of Satan. So what we're going to do is bid you adieu. Make sure that you do follow us on our podcast on our website at www.llpodcast.com. Also on our social media, which is Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, TikTok, Knock, all the social media. We are on there. Even on
Here you can do it.
just so many, and they're getting to the point where they're actually starting to rhyme with each other. So but we're all LL Podcasts. Just go to Google LL Podcast. We'll pop up everywhere.
All of our shit is there.
It's there. And make sure you join up with our newsletter, because if you join up with our newsletter, you could win one of our special one-of-a-kind t-shirts. And with our newsletter, you also get a lot of interesting things and what's coming up, and where you can buy books of some of the famous authors that we are now putting onto our podcast. They're coming out with some really good horror fiction out there, some really good fiction, so you don't want to miss out on that. Excellent. So I'm going to bid you adieu before I sit there and tie myself into some more misinformation. So good night, Vickie.
Good night, everybody.
And good night for myself, and we'll see you next week.